Would Williams be in the right situation in Chicago?
Yes and no. Is it a better situation than
this
what?
is first take, Kimberly. I expect more
Yes
from you.
and no?
I expect
yes
more
and no.
from
It can
you.
be both. It can be both. You know why? Because yes, Caleb will walk into a situation better than what Justin Fields walked into, correct? However, what I do know about the Bears historically is that they don't know how to develop quarterbacks properly, regardless of regime. So the reason I say I'm hesitant to say 1,000% yes is because they haven't proven that they'll have Caleb and will do right by him. I know that we're going to talk about Caleb a lot and what he needs to do. But what about the head coach, Matt Eberflus, a guy that a lot of people thought should have been let go? He fired his entire offensive coaching staff after the season. So for me, Matt Eberflus, he can't be let off the hook. He has to be better. And when you look at, Bryce Young last year, everybody thought going number one, he's going to a great situation. What doomed Bryce Young was the fact that the roster wasn't good in Carolina and the fact that that coaching staff was not cohesive. So I think Eberflus has a lot to prove with the staff that he's put together beyond just Caleb. So yes, Stephen, yes and no.
Both things cannot be true. Go ahead, Biggie.
I can't even believe you came out sideways
sir.
like that. Yes and no on a debate show. I mean, please.
Here's Kendrick Perkins to tell people the rules of this program.
I know. Listen, I'm going to go yes. So much of what I talk about young quarterbacks when they come into the league or go to an organization, I talk about like the infrastructure. Like what are they stepping into? Mm-hmm. If you look at what Caleb Williams is stepping into as opposed to when Justin Fields came to Chicago Bears, it's night and day. Okay, last year you traded for DJ Moore. You went out and you traded for Keenan Allen. Okay, you went out and you signed DeAndre Swift, the running back. They've already added on the offensive line. You got Cole Kmet, the tight end there. So just on the offensive side alone, okay, you got legitimate weapons, guys that'll make life easier for any quarterback, especially for a rookie quarterback. And you talk about Matt Eberflus, and we know that his forte is the defensive side of the football. Well, if you look at how he's done as far as that side of the ball is concerned, remember they made that trade for Montez Sweat last year.
Yep.
When they did that, the last 8 games, the Chicago Bears had the #1 scoring defense in the National Football League. So you're a young quarterback. Now you have a defense that's backing you up, surrounded by all these weapons. That's how you help a young quarterback transition to the National Football League. This is totally different than when Justin Fields came into the Chicago Bears organization. So I'm going yes in this situation.
So am I. I totally agree with you. It's very definitive. But we won't judge Kimberly Martin too harshly because all she's really showing is that she really knows how to dance. Just say you know how to dance. That's all. That's all you have to do.
Right.
That's all she's really
Right.
saying. But here's the reality of the situation is that you're absolutely right. They acquired Keenan Allen. They got DeAndre Swift. You still kept DJ Moore there. You got Kmet at the tight end spot. You're looking at them offensively. You've got some cats that have been in the league long enough from a veteran perspective to really, really assist you, particularly if you're a rookie quarterback with star written all over you like Caleb Williams is. We get all of that. I also think you got to take into account Ryan Poles and the fact that he's in that position now as opposed to Ryan Pace, his predecessor, who passed up on Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson to draft Mitchell Trubisky. He's never going to recover from that. He probably good luck getting another job as running a football team in the future. That ain't going to happen. And when you got that on your resume, okay? So Poles is a different animal. He's moving into a different direction. I was kind of surprised they kept Eberflus as well. If you're going to fire the whole offensive staff, I love how you get rid of everybody but keep yourself. That's amazing to me. But it is what it is. The fact is, at the end of the day, if you got a new offensive system, you got a new quarterback coming in, I also think you have to take into account what kind of situation you're walking into in terms of what your predecessors were. Let me give you a list. Going back to 1985 from Jim McMahon. These are who the Chicago Bears quarterbacks have been. McMahon, Steve Fuller, Mike Tomczak, okay, Doug Flutie for a year, okay. You got Jim Harbaugh that was there for pretty much 4 years, okay, 4 or 5 years. Steve Walsh, Eric Kramer, Dave Craig, okay, Shane Matthews, Cade McNown, Jim Miller, Cordell Stewart, Craig Krenzel, okay? Rex Grossman.
Right.
I mean, my God. I mean, just think about it. If you Caleb Williams, particularly with Justin Fields struggling the way that he struggled over the first 3 years, primarily because of the system he was in more so than him, you playing with house money. You're playing with house money.
So here's where I will push back on both of you, because the question is not, is Caleb Williams in a better situation than Justin Fields? The question is is Caleb in the right situation if he were to go to Chicago, correct? All those names you just mentioned would give me pause.
Who said something about the Steelers? Who said he
Did I
was in a
say
better
Steelers?
situation than Justin
Chicago.
Fields?
Right. What you both are, part of your explanation is this is a better situation for Caleb than Justin Fields.
No.
Let
her finish, because I gotta hit the top of the hour.
Justin Fields is a different situation. Is this the right situation for Caleb Williams? And all those quarterbacks that Steven just mentioned shows that the Bears do not know what they're doing at quarterback thus far. So that's what gives me the hesitation, because I haven't seen it yet.
Has the downfall of this iteration of the Bills been overblown?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's correct that they're the favorites to win the AFC East next year. I feel like sometimes when teams make it really far in the postseason and then they lose, and of course they were missed field goal away from advancing, we tend to overreact to that instead of reacting to what got them to that point in the first place, which is, in the Bills' case, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the NFL, at minimum, in my opinion. An offense that was incredibly efficient last year and returns most of the key players outside of the center. A defense that, despite some very serious injuries last season, finished 8th overall in defensive efficiency. They get the player who I think is probably their best player on defense, Matt Milano, their middle linebacker, back. There's some losses for sure, but when I look at the playoff teams and the pieces that they've lost, and I look at the landscape of the AFC East, I'm still picking this team to win the division. I'm still picking them to advance in the postseason as well.
You know what? It doesn't surprise me, but I'm going to agree with Mina here. I think you have to look at the Bills and say, what will they be? And we don't know, but what we do know about them is that they have the answer at quarterback. And to me, that solves a lot of problems that any team would have. When you even look in their division, the only reason some of us would give the Jets a puncher's chance is because of Aaron Rodgers, because of that quarterback position. Listen, this is a Bills team that had to move on from familiar faces, very good players, but aging players. But bringing back Taylor Rapp, Daquan Jones, Matt Milano, that makes me feel better about this team. This is a team that I think will have 11 draft picks as well. So you knew that they were going to come into this offseason looking to clear some salary cap space, and they've done that. And so far, when you've looked at their roster and the way they draft, you have to give credit to GM Brandon Beane for at least getting this team in a position where each year the Bills with that quarterback always have a chance.
Well, that's why I'm going to be limited in the amount of credit I'm willing to give to GM, because when you got Josh Allen, anything's possible.
See?
Now, look, Mina, you understand? I got to be careful because I'm talking to Mina here and Kimberley, and we know y'all stuff. But allow me to just throw a couple of statistics because they kind of matter to me, okay? Do you know that over the last 4 seasons, the Bills have the second most regular season wins in the NFL to the Chiefs, 51-48? Did you know that? Did you know that they also rank second in scoring offense and first in scoring defense over the last 4 years? Did you know that? All right. Did you know that since in that 4-season stretch, since 2020, Buffalo has played in only one AFC championship game, which came back in 2020, and they've had no Super Bowl appearances. Their downfall has not been overblown. It hasn't. It's about Super Bowl expectations at some point, is it not, Mina? Is it not?
Right. Let me ask you this, Stephen A.
Yes.
Are you picking them to win the division this year?
So
do you think they'll win the AFC?
So what? Yes. Let me tell you why. Because see, I know you hang out with the boys in South Beach, the Lebatons, and them. Those are my boys, so I love them. But you know, I know that. Let's get that out there. I can say that because those are my boys. Here's the point that I'm trying to make to you, Mina. In Miami, get them away from Miami, and they don't know how to act. They can't. They like allergic to inclement weather. So we gonna dismiss them, okay? Somehow, some way, in November and December, when the weather gets a little cold in other parts of the country, that's when they gonna mess up. I could go with that. The Jets, we got to wait to see what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do because he's coming off of the Achilles tear. I know he was out walking around and throwing footballs. Damn it, they ain't the same as dropping back to pass and throwing that bad boy, especially when you listen to Nathaniel Hackett in your ear too. Don't get me started with that. And New England's just New England, okay? I wish Mayo and the crew nothing but luck, but we got to wait and see. I mean, by default, the Buffalo Bills are gonna be considered the favorites in the AFC East. But when you talk about Baltimore, when you talk about Cincinnati, even to a lesser degree Cleveland, when you look at Houston, when you look at Kansas City, hell yeah, you're thinking about them before you think about the Buffalo Bills. And when I think about that, with Josh Allen as being your quarterback, with the greatness that he can put on display and the expectations that come with it, now I'm seeing you got rid of Gabe Davis. He's gone. Stephon Diggs doesn't really want to be there, whether he's willing to come out and openly admit it. Now, I'm telling you what I know. You got to figure out how I know. I'm telling you what I know. The brother would rather be someplace other than in Buffalo, okay? You're damn right. It's not being overblown.
Can I just ask a question? Did you not say the Bills have the second most regular season wins behind Kansas City Chiefs?
Yes.
Okay. Did you not just mention the greatness
Of Josh
Allen?
Yes.
Okay. And now, so you're talking about Super Bowls, but to get to a Super Bowl, you do have to win. Pause. You do have to win.
See, there you go with the pause.
Regular season games.
You're doing that again. You're doing that. She does the pause to me, Mina. She does the pause to me.
Already expressed Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. So we're talking about Super Bowls. Do
What
you at
I'm
least
saying,
think
ladies.
do you at least think that the Bills have a shot?
They have
of
a shot.
competing
Fine.
with the Chiefs.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
So,
but a couple of years ago, we were talking about them. Listen, only Patrick Mahomes is really standing in their way. Well, there's a few teams that are standing in their way. There's a few teams is what I'm trying to say. That's what I mean when I'm talking about the downfall is overblown. I'm not telling you they ain't going to make the playoffs. I'm not telling you that Josh Allen ain't going to do his thing. I'm saying that when you think about the Buffalo Bills now compared to how you were looking at them 2-3 years ago, there's been a precipitous drop-off.